Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm happy to bring you a new episode of Every Woman TV right here on Sky Television. Once again, my name is Carol Azams, and I am the host, the founder, and producer of Every Woman TV. On the show with me today, I have Amanda Conkle, Sheila Balgobin, and Rachel Claire Farnsworth. Also, on to the second part of the show, which is the new segment that we've just introduced, the Books and Authors TV. I also have a guest on that, so please stay tuned. So I'm going to introduce you to our first guest, and that is Rachel Claire Farnsworth. On the show today, Rachel is co-presenting with her own client, Sarah, who is here to share her own testimony about the benefits of working with Rachel. So I'm going to introduce Rachel and let her bring on her guest to the show. So please introduce the guest, Rachel. Thank you.
Everybody, this is Sarah, and she's been working with me recently with a skin condition. Sarah's also a practitioner in the same method that I'm trained in, and we connected quite a few years ago, but this is the first time we've actually worked together like this, isn't it? What Sarah's here today is because we've worked together on a skin condition that was on her hands. How long did you actually have the skin condition, and what was it like living with it?
Okay, well, I suppose there's two parts to that answer. I've always had a little bit of vulnerability on my hands with contact dermatitis, and I'd had a few flare-ups in my long distant past, but they were always able to settle down and get back to normal, and it was never a chronic problem. But then what happened was in 2017, I went through quite a traumatic divorce. And it was a big emotional upheaval, really, for me. And that's when it started. And it's been chronic ever since. So we're 2022 now, but it started really 2017, 2018 started getting really bad. And so I've not had any respite from it in that time. So it's just been there all the time. And it just feels, so when I have gone to the GP to get it addressed, I have been seeing GPs about it. I've been prescribed steroid cream, a number of them. So I've been going back over the years. I've tried different steroid creams every time, and just standard emollient cream, so emulsifying ointment, that sort of thing. Okay. And just a general advice to keep your hands out of detergents. And so I've been following all of that advice, been taking all the medication, but there has been absolutely no respite in the condition in all of that time. And it was getting really chronic. So by the time I came to Rachel, it was extremely painful. I've been on my sort of fourth or fifth kind of steroid cream. I was getting reactions to some of the steroid ointments. And at the time, just before we had our session, Rachel, it was really, really painful. And nothing seemed to be helping. And I was in the process of going back to the doctors, and they were then taking blood tests and blood samples to get tested for more serious conditions like I think it was psoriatic dermatitis, and they were thinking it might be something more serious like that, an autoimmune condition that might actually affect the joints, because it was very painful. Anyway, at that point, we had our session, but how it was feeling was just very, very painful, like lots of tiny pinpricks all the time and red hot. So, and I couldn't get any respite from it at all. And it seemed to get worse with stress. So if I was sort of in a stressed situation, it would flare up even more and become even more uncomfortable. And so I have been also doing a lot of self-care. practices like meditation. That's what I do anyway, and stress management techniques and all sorts of things like that. And that was having very little effect on it. So even my own techniques, I couldn't get to work on myself to get a breakthrough. I've done some RTT on myself, and I did get some understanding of what was going on, but I had no breakthrough with the actual symptoms. Somebody else has tried to do it as well with, I think it was SRT, which is similar. It's a similar process. It's not as involved, I don't think, as RTT. By the time I saw you, Rachel, I literally tried everything that I could possibly try, including emotional subconscious work as well on it to get to the root causes.
Excellent. So what do you think? What was it that our session revealed that the others hadn't? What was it that what made the difference, do you think?
I think it was being able to have a full and frank discussion with the part of me. To find the root cause of it was actually finding a little girl who was feeling a little bit unloved and anxious about her connections to people, and that she was able to get connections to people by creating a physical reaction in her body. And this was the root cause, that she could, especially with it linked to her relationship with her father, my dad, and I was able to get a connection with him then, because it was. And also what's interesting actually, Rachel, is both my mum and dad are both, well, they're passed on now, but they were both qualified pharmacists, so they're medics, and they had every medicine that was possible at their disposal. And I was kind of brought up in a sort of medical background, so they took so they were knowledgeable about diseases and how to treat them. And I think this is where this little part of me, this little girl who, well, if I create an illness, mummy and daddy will know how to sort you out and be able to help you.
Mm-hmm.
And it, because I grew up in a chemist shop as well. So it was just having that conversation with that little girl who was so worried about my emotional safety, and she was trying to help me, and that was that subconscious connection that we made, that I couldn't make it in all the other work that I'd done. I hadn't had that particular conversation with this part of me, and she was trying to help me.
Yeah, just trying to nurture you and let you know that you were safe, wasn't she? And
yeah,
and it was just like, yeah, look, I've got pain, would somebody notice, kind of thing. It's here and no one's taking any notice. And then when you could see it and release it, it's just so beautiful. So when did you know that it's gone? How long did it take? Was it instant? Was it, how long? What was it? What was your?
It was overnight.
Was it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I had that when I made that connection with her, with this part of me that created it. We were kind of in constant conversation. She was sort of front and center of what was going on that day, and then at night I just said, it's going to be okay, everything's going to be okay, we're choosing, you're going to be because we gave her another job, so she became my confidence boost, but she needed so much reassurance from me that it was okay to let go of that job. And she was determined to hang on because, and this is something that happened a couple of weeks afterwards. It's like, because you're on your own, Sarah, you haven't got your dad anymore, because my mum and dad passed away both a couple of years ago. You're not married, you're on your own, you've only got me. And she was it. So it was an act of love and compassion. So I can't be cross with her. And I just had to kind of reassure her that I was going to be okay, because we've got better ways of looking after ourselves now.
Yeah, it's so beautiful, isn't it, when you can understand it, bring it into the conscious mind and look at it and analyze it, because you don't know what you don't know. It's subconscious, it's at a deep subconscious level. There's no way you can fish it out for yourself, or I've not found a way you can do that.
No, I couldn't do it for myself, Rachel. So that's why that session with you was so crucial, because you found the little thread of understanding in the conversations that we had during the therapy, and you made those connections, and you were able to highlight that, and then it opened up the discussion, and she knew she was in a safe place as well. That, I think, that was important. And I think she needed to be witnessed as well. I think that was really important, because I did have quite a difficult childhood, and I think that was important part of the process.
Yeah, that she felt heard and seen, and it's okay, spoken to, and doing all that nurturing. That is beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, and she's a very powerful creator. I've realised now, and it's like, well, you don't need that job anymore, but I could do with a bit more confidence from time to time. So that would help a lot. And she's sort of taking on that role more and more, and she's happy to do that, and she feels safe to do that now.
That's awesome. That's great. It's such a pleasure working with you, and I'm so glad that we've been able to sort that after so many years of having all that pain.
I can't even think, how long is it? So 2017, 2018, so that's 5 years. And what happened was that the pain literally disappeared overnight. So I woke up in the morning, and it was always a bit better in the morning, but through the day it gradually increased as a general pattern of behaviour. It would sort of increase, and by evening it was really, really sore. And I wasn't getting it at all. It was like, and I was sat with my family, with Trevor and Ted, and it was like, my hands don't hurt. Stopped hurting. And they're going, yes, yeah, they've stopped it. When something that you used to happening, you kind of become used to things. It was like, oh, hang on a minute, they're not hurting. They're not hurting anymore. And it was just,
wow, that's awesome.
Massive relief. And it literally happened overnight. So I thought, right, okay, let's just keep going. Let's keep up the conversation, because you're still a bit worried about letting go. And I maintain this, that the medication that I was on before our session, Rachel, I carried on, because I thought, well, I'll keep things the same, because I wasn't getting any adverse reactions from that. So I was using an emollient cream, actually, from Lush, the Dream Cream, has been very helpful in managing, because it does get a bit dry sometimes, and that was helpful. But I also continued to use a steroid cream, but it had an antibiotic in it, and I'm not so sure I need that now. I just have to make sure, because there's still a bit of scar tissue there. It's still a bit crinkly and a bit bumpy, but it doesn't hurt, and I'm not scratching it and making it worse, because I think I was doing that as well.
Yeah. And when we were having our first conversation, I could see it when you were doing that. I could see just by working, on this online, I could see that it was there. And you've been doing it just before we started recording. I could see that your skin is just so much better on your hands.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably see. So my nail varnish it needs some attention, but you could probably see where the bumpy bits are here, and they still look a bit crispy and a bit crinkly and a bit horrible. But I know that that's going to go over time.
Yeah,
because it's taken 5 years to get that. But they're not so.
It takes 5 years to get there to where they were, so it's going to take a little while to heal. Yeah, but the pain not being there means it's just gone. Yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that story. Is there anything else you want to add, or is that everything that you've?
Just that I felt so relieved, and so thankful to you, Rachel, for that amazing work you did, making those amazing connections, because I was really stuck with it. It was something I was really, really stuck with. And you got me unstuck with it. And anyone who's considering getting Rachel's help to get to the root cause of something that's been annoying you for so long and that you've had no breakthroughs with, I'd highly recommend Rachel.
Thank you so much. Pleasure working with you, and it's been an absolute well, it's just been fabulous talking to you again. So thank you so much, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I kept using it because I thought I'll keep everything the same.
Yeah. So
and then see how things respond. And
next is Amanda Kunkel. Welcome to EveryWoman TV.
Hello, my name is Amanda Kunkel, and I'm here to offer you the inside peek of the mindset of high achievers. And in fact, the universe wants to go a little bit further and not just speak on mindset, but speak on your overall vibrations. The vibration and mindset of high achievers. There is a huge difference, and this is something, unless you've had an amazing teacher in school or coach from a sport or a team when you were growing up, you most likely don't know this. And that is, there's always an easier way, there's always more than enough, and anything that I want is already here for me. And it goes beyond just thinking these things, because you can think them till the cows come home or don't come home. And by the cows not coming home, that means all of your desires are not coming to you. You have to be the vibration of them already being in you, all right, of you already having them. And this is why I go back to your teachers and especially the coaches, if you're on a gymnastics team, even martial arts. Martial arts, I took martial arts in high school. I took women's kickboxing, graduated into Thai boxing, went on to Jeet Kune Do, tested up to, I think it was a blue belt. And then I was graduating high school and had to get a full-time job and go to college. However, what I want to say about that is the mindset of everything is already here. The good that you want is already here. Don't give up, right? And then feeling that. Trust me, when you are in the ring with, I had Sifu Gephardt, who was maybe 3 times my size when I was in high school. I'm still a pretty teeny girl, but was, even smaller then, who had his black belt. You can do it. You know you can do it. You can feel you can do it, even if he's going easy on you, right? That's something that most places don't teach. Most colleges don't teach. You're taught to, sit down, shut up, line up, ask a few good questions based on the type of questions you should be asking, and get your 9 to 5. And I'm not saying that there's anything necessarily wrong with that. What I'm saying is the high achieving point of this is knowing, whether you're in a 9 to 5, you're self-employed, you're a stay-at-home mom or dad, knowing that desire is there and not letting anything else come in to your mind, to your vibrational field. That's where you see success. That's where you see people get lucky. And no, I don't mean that there's a different sort of luck. There's the difference between like a Stanford graduate whose family has generations of wealth and connections, right? Versus the person that is an everyday, ordinary person who started their business in their garage and utilized their mindset, their vibration, and the little nudges that they got from the universe of who to talk to, where to look, how to get financing, the next steps, the brilliant idea, and kept going. Even pitfall after pitfall. If you're self-employed, you understand this one, pitfall. And it does, though, up and down. And it's that mindset, that vibration that makes them the high achiever. I invite you to my YouTube channel, Business Laser Pointed Success. Stop on by. I hope that you stick around and make sure to like and follow my page for more of these juicy universe videos. And speak to you soon.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks very much. On the show today, Sheila wants to share some exercises from her training series, which is the mental fitness training series that she's been showcasing on this program. On today's show, she is particular about showing some exercise on that. So let's welcome Sheila Balgobin to EveryWoman TV.
Hi, I'm Sheila Balgobin, and this is one of the couple of exercises that I will be showing you to build your mental fitness muscles. Now, this exercise will take literally minutes, but it's what I call an adult cookie. You know how we give cookies to our children to distract them from putting their hands on a hot stove or doing something that they shouldn't do. Well, these exercises work in the same way. They distract you from the negative spiral of your thinking and get you into a calmer, more rational state known as the sage mind. So to do this first exercise, I just want you to sit comfortably with your back straight and your feet flat on the floor, and to close your eyes. With your eyes closed, I want you to, first of all, think about a situation recently or in the past that aggravated you or upset you or took you out of a calm state, whether it be a person or a situation. Just think about that situation or person. And don't just think about it. This is an intellectual exercise. This is to get you down into your body. How did you feel? Were you angry? Were you sad? Were you anxious? Were you frustrated? How were you feeling during that particular situation? Feel that. Be in that moment. Now, while you've got this situation in your mind, I want you, still with your eyes closed, to take your thumb and your forefinger and rub the two fingers together. Rub them together with enough tension that you can feel the ridges on your fingers. Don't think about it. Don't judge it. Just feel the sensation of the two fingers rubbing against one another. Just notice the sensations. You have no thoughts about it. You're just feeling the sensation. Now, I'd like you to think about that same exact situation you just thought of a few moments ago. And think about how you could have responded differently. What could you have done differently? What could you have said differently? And continue to rub your two fingers together as you think about this. What could you do differently in that situation or with that person? Now, I want you to open your eyes and to scan yourself. How are you feeling at this moment? Are you still feeling that the tension from when we started the exercise and you thought about the situation? Or are you feeling differently? And if you're feeling differently, how are you feeling? Mental fitness training, as I said, are adult cookies. They distract you from the negative loop or spiral of thinking that keeps your hand on the hot stove, whether you're angry, frustrated, ashamed, enraged, whatever it is. It breaks that chain of thought and allows you to enter into sage mind, which is calm, rational, can find solutions to things, helps you to respond from a place of wisdom rather than a place of anger or frustration. So this is the first of the couple of exercises that I'll be showing you. And the next time you're in a situation like the one you thought about, or another situation, and feel that anger and upset or frustration, anxiety, etc., to start to build up, try this exercise. You can do it anytime, anywhere, and see what difference it makes for you.
Thank you all very much. I'm going to go to our second segment, which is the Books and Authors TV. This segment, as you know it is all about promoting the authors and their books. So today we have Tim Parsons. And in this episode today, Tim features his new title, Paramedic Chris and the Runaway Chicken. So hi, Tim. It's nice to have you on this show. Welcome to Books and Authors TV here on Sky Television. So please tell us all about your new book.
Hi everybody, I'm really pleased to be here on Books and Authors TV. It really is an honour and a privilege to be here. My name is Tim Parsons and I'm going to introduce you to my latest children's book. Paramedic Chris and the Runaway Chicken sees Paramedic Chris attending to a very unusual call. We see Paramedic Chris ending up chasing a patient's chicken of all the things to do on a shift. The patient's chicken has escaped through a hole in the fence. Paramedic Chris is able to leave the other paramedic to do the medical observations on the patient while he goes to find the missing chicken. We see the community pulling together and supporting Paramedic Chris, and eventually Paramedic Chris does find the chicken as a result. The patient is also suffering from anxiety, and Paramedic Chris and his colleague, they're able to encourage the patient to go outside. Not only does the patient go outside, but he goes outside to a round of applause by the neighbours. Paramedic Chris and the Runaway Chicken is now available on Amazon on paperback and audio. And for further information, feel free to visit my website www.timparsons.co.uk. And thank you for listening.
Wow, that is interesting. Actually, this has brought us to the end of today's show. So thanks all for watching. I'll see you again next week. Until then, look after yourselves and stay blessed.